Okay. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So, hi, I am Talon2461. I'm going to be doing a speedrun of Sonic Adventure 2's Hero Story. In my opinion, it's the more enjoyable of the two categories. It's got a lot more cool skips, and it's just a more fun run in general. So in Sonic Adventure 2, there are 3 main different playstyles. There are the action stages that you do as Sonic, the hunting stages that you do as Knuckles, and the mech stages that you do as Tails. Starting off, we have our action stage, first action stage with Sonic. So you're going to see me spin dash a lot. Spin dashing is usually the fastest way to move. I didn't get it. And I'm gonna want to stay on the ground, less airtime.
Yeah, there was a big skip, City Escape skip that he missed on the ramp back there. It's a very inconsistent trick. I believe 43% was the statistic.
Yeah, if you do it 100% consistent every time, you get it 43% of the time.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a Sonic game.
Yeah, it saves about 30 seconds, so he can still get a pretty good time in the stage without it.
Yeah, the way the skip works is Sonic gets pushed towards the wall at high speed because we skipped the speed pad, which apparently makes you go faster by skipping speed pads for whatever reason. And it basically pushes Sonic out of the wall, and he clips onto the speed pad, thus shoving him through the stage and then conveniently into a later part of the level. That's purely coincidental by level design.
Coming up here is the truck chase. This is probably the hardest part of the stage. Just staying on the ground here is a bit of a struggle because Sonic really wants to come off of every single one of these flats here. He's doing really well so far.
Yeah, I just need to make sure I charge my spin dashes at the correct time. That will slow me down enough so I don't fly off the hills. And then, yeah, stay to the right, and I run straight to the goal ring.
Yeah, and 155 is a really good time for that stage.
Okay, so now we're going to our first boss. It's going to be an action stage boss called Bigfoot. Requires 4 hits to beat. Normally, if you were playing the game, you'd have to wait for him to land before you can hit him, because his hitbox is usually too high. But there are these boxes around the stage. If you jump on one of them, you have enough height to just jump and hit him. And you could just rinse and repeat that. So you'll see me do that here.
Yeah, I believe a perfect fight here is a 21-39, which I think I've seen you get a couple times. Nice.
Good job. That's a really solid time.
Yeah. Anything under about 25 seconds is a really good time for that boss.
Okay, do you guys want to explain Knuckle stages?
Yes. Do you want to do it or should I?
I'll go ahead.
You do it. It's kind of haunted.
So basically what you're looking for are 3 pieces of the Master Emerald, and they're randomly generated based on game time and cutscene skip time. Knuckles' physics, as you can tell, are quite odd. He doesn't really like to grab onto a lot of stuff, but basically you're just trying to find the 3 pieces of the Master Emerald. And they're randomly generated, so you can lose upwards of 20 seconds in a lot of stages, and save upwards of 20 seconds in a lot of stages. This one is the least volatile, so he got a 27, which is probably a little bit below average, but...
He didn't get very good pieces.
So, yeah, so there are about a finite number of locations, about 100 per stage. So what speedrunners do is they memorize every single piece location and the corresponding first hint. So after I read one hint, I know exactly where the piece is, and then I go to that, that location. And then I do that for the second and third piece.
This boss is press forward and press B.
Yep.
The nice thing with all the bosses is that they're all AI manipulated, so we know exactly what the boss is going to do to behave, so it makes it pretty easy to have consistent strategies and times when doing all the bosses.
So coming up is the first mech stage. It's Prison Lane. I personally think this is the most difficult mech stage in the game because there's a lot of really tight corridors, and you need to make these 90-degree turns. Tails likes to lose a lot of momentum as you go around a sharp corner, so he's going to be jumping around these corners to try and preserve his momentum as much as possible.
Yeah, it can also be affected by your camera, making finicky movements. And the best way to go fast on tails is to keep that momentum going, which can be difficult to do. So the best way to keep the momentum going is to have short, precise jumps and then to follow the camera movement so tails doesn't have to make any large turns at all. I think another hard part about this stage is there's a lot of lock-ons that you have to do in order to get through some gates. One nice little skip that Talon's about to do is there's an enemy that's kind of in the room, like coming up next, and he's actually going to skip having to kill that by just jumping and locking on it. See right there, he got it. So he can open that door that would usually be there a little bit early, saves a little bit of time. You'll get to know very quickly that in this game, walls don't really matter.
Another thing that you have to pay attention to is the camera in this game can be really, really annoying to manipulate. So you see here the camera's like zooming in and out. New runners always have trouble with moving with the camera, and it's just something you pick up with experience.
Another trick that Talon's about to do that saves a couple seconds is called a gate hop. You can just jump on that gate, go on the next one, and go right on up. It's a pretty smooth looking trick and saves about 2 seconds.
Yeah, getting both of them in the stage saves about 5, so
yeah,
it's not too bad. And 136,
yeah, 136
is a really,
is really
good time.
Good. That's clap worthy for sure.
So coming up is Metal Harbor, the second action stage of the game, and the only one that really doesn't have a big kind of skip.
Yeah, there's a rocket jump, but that's only like a 2-second time save.
Yeah, but this stage is like incredibly optimized. Every single little thing that he does here is just saving tenths of a second, and you're fighting for those. He does a lot of loop skips in this stage, like the one you just saw there. They're relatively easy, but there's basically anywhere in this stage you can die quite easily, especially if you're an inexperienced runner.
Yeah, the best way to save time in this stage is to utilize your spin dashes effectively and to try and keep Sonic on the ground as best you can, although there are a lot of jumps in the stage, so just utilizing ring dashes like Talon's doing and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fastest way to preserve your momentum in this game on the action stages is to chain spin dashes on the ground on a flat, because you lose your momentum gradually as you go along. But if you're going on a downhill, that doesn't really matter, so you can just keep your spin dash.
So you're probably curious how Talon could go under those little gates where you normally have to somersault under. He does it really fast. That's a trick in the game called storage. So basically the action button, it's the same button for both a somersault and a spin dash. And if you press it in kind of the right timing, you can get the somersault animation or like the mechanic of the somersault, but you don't actually do a somersault, and it's pretty quick to get under things really quickly. Mm-hmm. And we'll use that trick on different parts of the Sonic stages.
Yeah, he's going to be using it on the next boss, Shadow, to chain hits really quickly, and he's also going to be using it in the action stage after that, Green Forest. That's a very good time.
125 is really good.
That's incredible.
That last loop skip scared me a bit. I thought I was going to fall off.
Yeah, sometimes the camera gets caught on random things, and then it makes you really scared.
All right, best cutscene in the game coming up right now.
It's the only one we can't skip. It's good coffee break splits or time in the run.
So far, so good.
Is it a good time for donation reading?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
We have a $10 donation from Clever Pigeon, who says, "Hi Talon, glad you get to show off this great game and great speed game to such a big audience. Here's hoping your stream blows up like the island. It's real deal when it comes to your name, kid. Half of this money goes to killing the animals, the other goes to Air Ride Blue Kirby for my boy Pearstrike."
So you see that Talon just kind of running into Shadow. That's utilizing storage. Usually you have to somersault into him, but with storage we can just run into him and damage him.
Yeah, they don't like to touch, so Shadow just kind of dies. Yeah, so here's Green Forest. I personally think this is one of the harder stages in the run. Mm-hmm. There's a trick in this stage called Green Forest Wall Run that I don't believe has been shown in a GDQ.
No, I don't think so, but he's going to do it here, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
No, you got this.
Yeah, it's probably one of the hardest tricks.
Yeah. It's very difficult and it's very finicky. You tend to fall off the tree every once in a while if you hit the wrong spot.
The hardest part about this stage in particular is keeping Sonic on the ground. There's a lot of little hilly areas and things that just, like right there, just kind of throw Sonic off the ground, and it makes you go a little bit slower. So if you can stay on the ground, that's an accomplishment. So this Talon's coming up to a loop, and what he's going to do is he's going to jump off the side of it, and you can just jump over this loop so you don't have to go all the way around, because that's really slow. We don't like going slow in Sonic games.
That one's a lot harder than it looks, because you have to jump right over the dash pads. What happened there?
That was a dropped input, I think, or something weird.
Yeah, that was weird. All right.
So here's the wall run. It's coming up.
How the wall run works is there's a loop trigger that basically makes Sonic go really fast and stay, like he can go upside down. So what we can do is we can just throw Sonic like that in the wall, and we do that.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
Okay.
Hey,
Nice.
you got
Good
it.
job. So for that last part, Talon had to do a spin dash jump off of the wall in order to make it onto that platform, and the camera can be really uncooperative there, so that's kind of a hard thing to do, so I'm glad he got it.
Yeah, that's a very hard skip, and a 125 is, again,
That
an
is-
incredible
that is
time for
good.
that stage.
That was good. So we're coming up to the next RNG stage, which is Pumpkin Hill, or Pumpkin Hell, as we sometimes joke around with it, because the pieces can be in really
mean.
far places from each other. How the RNG works in this game is that they do it in triangles, and so ideally there's a piece that spawns, and then any other piece within a third of that triangle gets automatically erased. So the game's trying to make the pieces as far away from you as possible, but sometimes there are better piece combinations that'll help you save time. An average time on Pumpkin Hill is about a 40-second time, so hopefully pieces will be kind. This is a pretty decent first piece.
Yeah. Usually when you get a first piece on Ghost Train Mountain, which is this, you'll get a piece on Pumpkin Mountain, which is to the left. So,
Yep.
yep. And those are two pretty good pieces to have together,
And then ideally we'll get something like Suffering from a Stuffed Nose or something like
which
that.
is very close. Three Brothers
That's
Tombstone.
okay, but not really.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so he hit all three mountains there. It's kind of average to maybe slightly below average RNG on that one.
Okay.
That was a average Pumpkin Hill, a really well executed average Pumpkin Hill.
Probably have time for one donation.
Perfect. We have a $10 donation from Grandma Lilat. This is Lilat Ranboo's grandmother. I'm so proud of my grandson on the couch, and his grandpa Dalton and I are so proud of him for helping raise money for MSF.
Aww. I don't even know if we introduced ourselves. That's Lilat.
Hi.
And I'm Seraphim. Nice to meet you all.
So Mission Street here is a cycle-based stage. He's going to try and make a weight jump here right after picking up the upgrade, which is very difficult. He only has a few frames to jump. He's going to take advantage of a physics exploit, which is hover jumping. If you press the jump button and then press the hover button right after, you can get way more height than you're supposed to, and he's able to make that jump quite easily with it. Now later in the stage, these cylinders here move in cycles. They're global cycles. He's going to try and make what's called zero cycle in this stage, which saves about 12 seconds over getting first cycle. The way you do that is basically just make that weight jump and have pretty optimal movement throughout the rest of the stage. So.
The reason we call it zero cycle is because we previously thought it wasn't possible to do, but upon learning you could do the hover jump mechanic, we found that you can do it, so we just subtracted one cycle from first cycle.
I believe the task makes negative 1.5 cycle in
Yeah,
this
there's something
stage,
like that.
which
Ridiculous.
is absolutely ridiculous.
This might make it.
That could
It
make
looks like
yeah.
it's going to be pretty close.
Oh yeah, you got it. Totally.
Oh,
You got it. There you go.
you got
Nice.
it.
Nice.
That's very difficult. You have to have very optimal movement in the stage in order to make that.
Yeah, it may not look impressive at first, but to have the tails movement and to be able to hit all those jumps can be really easy to mess even one of those things up, and you can't make the cycle. So that's impressive trick to string together.
Yeah, as we said before, the awkward camera angles and not being able to move at sharp angles makes it very difficult in order to preserve your momentum in all Tails stages, basically.
This part, it's just a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
So
It's clearing
apologies.
debris.
Apologies for the beeps.
Yeah, this is actually an incredibly loud stage compared to the rest of them.
I find it hilarious that Tails is wanted in this stage, and there's $1 million fine for his head, which I think is kind of interesting.
And he
that
didn't
he's-
even do anything.
He's worth that much.
That was a little tough.
So coming up is Aquatic Mine. There's a lot of free pieces that he can find in the cutscene before the stage. There's 5 pieces, I believe, 6 pieces that you can see in this cutscene. And if you can get one of those, that should save a considerable amount of time in this stage. But this stage has moving water levels, and he's going to want to go up and hit the switch up top right away, so that he can move around the stage more easily.
There is one piece in this stage that forces you to readjust the water levels, and it's a really terrible piece, so we're going to hope that Talon doesn't get that.
Okay, that's good.
That's a
Oh,
solid
that's a
second
good
piece.
piece.
I think an average time on this stage is about it's also like, I think a 40 or something like
It's
that.
a 35,
35,
or 40. Yeah, somewhere in there.
This is not the best RNG. Anytime you have to go into the ghost room is usually pretty poor.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, we get to show off a little wall clip. So we can shove Knuckles through these signs, and it helps us to get to places in the stage a lot faster.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
we have to go through a bunch of water, and it's really slow.
Yeah, it's a bit of a camera manipulation trick. If you glide towards the sign at the right angle, Knuckles will just fall right out of bounds. It's actually quite easy to do for the most part. There's a couple that are quite tricky.
Alright, so the next stage is very different from the others. It's like a driving kart stage. The main thing that you're going to see me do here is drift or snake from side to side, and that's because when you're normally driving, you have a speed cap. But if you start drifting from side to side, your speed cap increases to the boost speed cap, so you can keep speeds from boost and from downhill sections. So yeah, it looks kind of weird. You'll also get to see me do something cool.
Oh, good. I like this.
Yeah.
The nice thing with being able to use Tails in this state as well is that you can control him a lot better.
That and you guessed one less Tails stage.
Yeah, thankfully this doesn't actually change the controls of the cart, but it looks hilarious.
Yeah, that doesn't actually lose any time either. So, like, why not?
Oh, what?
Oh, what?
That was weird.
Yeah.
Uh,
But this is probably about the best stage for donations, so if you've got some.
Oh, there are plenty. Talent, people like you. We have a $100 donation from Zachariah saying, "Hi, Talon. Glad to see you at GDQ. Love watching your runs. I can't wait for your 180 emblem run next, GDQ.
Yes.
Faker."
Please.
And we also have $100 from Celestix, who says, "Here's that donation for that bet I lost for crashing into the start line during Riders. You could say it was electrifying." And then they have a nice little smiley face. This one goes to TAS, because that'll be an amazing block. Good luck, Talon, on the run. We have $50 from Gnomebat saying, "Thanks, Talon, for inspiring me to run this game. I started running Hero Story 3 weeks ago, and I got sub 50 today. Good luck on the run."
oh,
Oh.
sorry. I just wanted to show off the backwards driving again.
Yeah, it's not a huge time loss. It's about 2 or 3 seconds, depending on where it was. It wasn't in a bad spot either.
We have $20 from Dracodon, who says, "Donating for one of the highlight runs of the marathon. Best of luck, Talon. You've got this. Shoutouts to the entire SA2B community, and remember, Talon, sub 15 Rouge is literally free. In fact, an additional $10 if you get that."
Ooh. Yeah, shout outs to Draco. He's a community leader for the SA2 group. He's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of great runners of this game. A Mustache, Dark Pro, Edward Bottle, Yeah, they're all really, really solid.
Eggman,
Yeah, I'm forgetting some. But
Nimrod Power, Axel Thunder,
yeah.
Yeah,
Metal Gun Solid.
it's really cool to see how the community has grown in the last few years.
Yeah, there's at least 20 active runners at a time in the community. It's pretty cool.
So we got Hidden Base coming up here. This is quite a difficult stage. There's a skip right at the front that saves about 4 or 5 seconds. He's basically going to go right through a vertex in the corner where there's a tiny little gap. There's no wall there on GameCube, so we call it GC skip because the skip is literally free on that console. But this is a very risky skip.
Nice.
And he
Good
got
job.
it. Yeah.
Good job. It only saves about 4 seconds, but these tail stages are really, it's hard to have really optimized time, so that's pretty significant for a tail stage.
Yeah, and as you can tell, walls don't really exist that much in this stage. There's a lot of places where the developers didn't really think you'd be able to go, but you can go there actually quite easily with some hover jumps. So there's a lot of walls he's going to be going through.
And this is the stage where you really see the use of hover jumping.
Yeah, there's a lot of hover jump abuse in this stage, like right there.
Time for a quick donation.
Go for it.
Yep.
Edward Bottle 34 donates $10 and says, "Super bummed that I wasn't able to go and hang out with my friends in the SA2 community. Here's hoping for the good Knuckles RNG that I was never able to get in my world record attempts. If Talon lands CGSS first try, I'll donate an additional $10. And we have an anonymous $100 donation that says, "I like Doom."
All right.
Doom is great. Yeah, so coming up on the end of the stage here, as you saw, a lot of hover jump abuse, a lot of going out of bounds. 154 is a pretty good time for that stage, yeah. Actually, anything really under 2 minutes is pretty good. And we're coming up on Pyramid Cave,
Yes.
which is, I would say, the hardest stage in the run.
It's the hardest to do really well.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest looking in terms of execution. You also get the best upgrade in the game.
Yes.
Yes. We get the bounce bracelet in this stage, which is very, very broken.
Yeah, we're about to break some physics hardcore.
Yeah, so you can jump off that hourglass there. There's a little vertex where you can just get a bunch of height by jumping at the right time.
There you go.
And there's another vertex right by that chow box.
I should have gotten more height from that. Not entirely sure.
It happens.
And here's the upgrade, the bounce bracelet. Now he's going to do something right away. That was called the super bounce. So basically, what the game does, if you bounce and hit a wall, it transfers all your forward momentum into vertical momentum. So you can get ridiculous amounts of height by doing this. So he just skipped over a door there. There's a small gap in this door here that he's going to try and squeeze through. This is a really precise jump that he's trying to make. Just to line
There you
himself.
go.
There he goes.
Yeah, that saves a lot of time from having to go down the hallway to get the key for that.
Yeah, it's probably about 30 seconds saved with that.
Hate that ghost.
But he loves you so much.
He just wanted to give you a hug.
So the next trick that Talon's gonna do is we call it a snake skip. So what we can do is go over to this snake where we can go and get a little bit of an angle, and you can just super bounce over.
Nice.
You'll see another example of how we manipulate angles and the gravity to get Sonic into interesting places.
Yeah, and he's going to try and do a gravity
Oh,
abuse.
it's okay.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
okay.
What he was trying to do there was a gravity abuse, or gravity manipulation, where he uses changed gravity based on the slope, similar to what he's doing there, to bounce directly to the goal ring. It saves a couple seconds, but as you can see, it's quite risky.
I mean, I got to see Snake skip again, which is always a beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
that's a beautiful skip.
So for some reason, in this game, when you die and you restart from a checkpoint, it changes your camera mode to free camera, which makes the perspectives a little bit different. So I'm just going to do this normally, since I'm not used to doing this in free camera. Okay.
So the next stage is another Knuckles stage, and it is a run killer. It is called Death Chamber, and it really does have a lot of death in it, because there's some strategies that we can use to help find pieces a lot quicker. Dark Pearl, this is basically his waifu, his Death Chamber, so he's done a lot of work with it. What we found is that if you get a piece in the blue room, you can kill yourself as Knuckles, and you can respawn in the red room, and there's like a 50% chance or so that you will get a piece in the red room, so it saves a lot of time.
Yeah, if you do the same thing in the green room, you only have about a 15% chance of spawning a piece. But he didn't get one in either room, so no death abuse for him, unfortunately.
There's a lot of time variance in this stage. I've seen times as low as 40 seconds, and I've seen sometimes as high as 1:15, and it's not the runner's fault. But we do get to see this neat little clip that we found recently.
Yeah, this is called Booty Clip. And he just goes behind the box there and clips right out of bounds.
So what that allows, so basically how Death Chamber is orchestrated is that there's little rooms that are kind of off in random parts of the map where you go through those little wall paintings. So we can use that particular skip in order. That's a garbage piece. Holy cow.
That was about the worst layout you could have possibly gotten for that.
Talon basically has to go around the entire stage.
But we get to see the other clip. You can do a lot of door clips in this stage by jumping at the doors at the correct angle.
Oh, you got it. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like we said, walls don't exist in this Sonic game.
And yeah, that was really horrible RNG, but you still had really good execution, all things considered. Yeah, so coming up is a little bit of a mini boss gauntlet. First, we have King Boom Boo, who, if you've seen previous runs at GDQs, you might have seen, basically, you can take out Boom Boo in one cycle without having to hit the hourglass more than once.
Yeah, he's pretty spooky. Just look at those eyes. They're just menacing.
Yeah, so you'll throw 4 flames, and then I hit the hourglass, dig him up, and then it's a pretty lenient thing. I just have to make sure I don't miss a punch.
Usually you're supposed to only be able to hit him once, but we can conserve Knuckles' momentum and keep hitting him, which is pretty nice.
Okay to do a donation?
Yeah, real quick one.
We have a $100 donation from Cade Hendricks, who says, "Hey Talon, glad to see you doing a run this year. I tune in late to watch your stream, so I'm glad to see you showing up at a GDQ as well. Keep up the good work."
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we have what is basically the final boss of this game coming up. Not actually the final boss, but...
Hardest boss.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay.
So what Talon just did there was a super bounce, but it's really hard to do because you have to do it off that little ledge that you see. But we can get a lot of height and speed and just hit him. Goes really fast.
Yeah. He only has about a 3-frame window to do these inputs, so it's incredibly precise.
And then once you do 3, Eggman's going to try and headbutt you, but we can go around that, hit him in the head, go on. Oh, they got a lot of momentum. Sometimes you can land on his arm and do a spin dash jump to get the last hit, but that's still a really, really good
That
Egg
was
Golem.
a very good
That's
Egg
really
Golem,
good.
yeah. Yeah, that saved about 20 seconds over doing the fight normally, too, so.
So if you didn't think this game was broken enough, all the space stages have a pretty major skip in them, so I hope you enjoy watching games be broken.
Yeah, this is the last mech stage in the run, Eternal Engine. This is also a cycle-based stage. There are some platforms about halfway through the stage that are moving up and down that you can make an earlier cycle if you have good enough movement, but it's very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, if you want to look at Talon's checkpoint times to see if he's on pace, if he gets a 22 check here, which he did, so he's on pace. And then for the second check time, if he gets a 104?
105.
105.
105, yeah.
105. he can make the first cycle. One little trick that you see Talon doing is he'll jump before doors open. That's because if Tails goes full momentum at the door, he's going to get caught on the door. So if you jump, you can conserve a little bit of momentum and get through the door as quickly as possible.
Yeah, just because jumping slows you down a little bit.
He just did a pause jump there just for some safety.
Yeah, he pause buffered his inputs, his 2A inputs between doing the hover. It looks like he's on pace to make the first cycle on this one. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also Eternal Engine Skip, which is coming up in this next room. And nice, he made first cycle. That's great.
Nice job.
Yeah. So basically what he's doing here is he's getting the door to push him out of bounds on this little cylinder here. This is... it's pretty difficult.
It's just it can be kind of tricky how you hit the wall because you have to hit it in a certain place for it to push you out of bounds. A little too far right. You got it.
Yeah.
This is one of those skips, though, that if you miss it once, it's a lot more difficult to get it.
Nice. There you go.
Took too many tries, but
That's okay.
Yeah, and now he's basically just gliding in this direction for the next, what, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
so I could tell where I need to go from the references on the background, and then I need to fall in a specific place.
Yeah, and you're basically hitting the goal ring from right behind. There's a giant machine in front that you have to destroy a lot of parts of in order to actually get to the goal ring, but we don't really need to do that because we're out of bounds and we can just touch it from the back.
There you go.
Nice.
And there he goes.
Now we're coming up to the last knuckle stage. It's Meteor Herd, which is it's the piece layouts on this level can be really hard. There's basically 3 levels to Meteor Herd. There's the bottom, the middle, and the top. And sometimes the piece combinations can have you going from the top level to the bottom level and vice versa, and it can be really annoying. So hopefully the RNG will be kind.
Or you can get 3 pieces in the middle and you can get like a 20-something.
Yeah, but that's impossible.
Yeah, average time for the stage is probably maybe a little bit over a 40. Ooh, that's not a good first piece.
It is on the middle level, which is nice, but the problem is the platform that piece is on is so close to the bottom that you have to go back down to hit the...
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
The get back up anyway, so that's why. Maybe you'll get like twin stars or something. That'd be nice.
Oh,
That's actually not that bad from here.
Are you sure?
That's a 50-50 shot to be in the right spot.
Okay.
And
got
it
it.
is in the right spot.
Okay.
That's still one of the worst pieces.
Okay, not bad.
It's not bad.
It's an interesting layout.
Yeah, middle,
Yeah.
bottom, middle is different.
But yeah, he got pretty bad pieces here, so unfortunately, not the greatest time. But he did some very good execution, so.
Usually the Knuckles levels are what frustrate a lot of runners.
Yeah, he did a spiral uppercut at the end there because Knuckles' hitbox when he does a spiral uppercut is absolutely enormous. So he can just grab the piece inside of the container. You can do that with a lot of other pieces as well. And you can do the same with Rouge.
Yeah, we're coming up to Rouge now. This boss fight is the one that Draco was talking about in his donation. Basically what you need to do is we can lock down Rouge by drill diving into her, and we can lock her so that we don't have to like wait for her to open herself up for attack. So it can go pretty quickly.
What did Draco say he'll do?
Sub 15, you'll donate. What was it, $10 more?
$10, yeah.
Okay.
$10,000? What?
$10 million?
Is that fast enough?
It might be.
Yay! Okay, so we're coming up on Crazy Gadget here. Crazy Gadget is a very, very broken stage.
Yes.
There are 2 skips you can do in this stage. There's Crazy Gadget Skip, and there's Crazy Gadget Skip Skip. I believe he's going for Crazy Gadget Skip Skip first, which is basically just one very precise jump in between a bunch of kill planes.
Yeah, the hard part about it is you have to basically do the trick blind. And so it can be very hard to gauge where you are. So it's very painful to get. So it's it kills a lot of runs, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll give the skip one try, and then if not, I'll just do the skip.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them save a considerable amount of time, but yeah, it's just right down here that he's going to jump out of bounds.
Oh, he's out of bounds.
And he got out of bounds. That's the hardest part.
Let's give him a little encouragement. C, G, S, S, C, G, S, S, C, G, S, S, C, G, S, S. Oh, there's a little
Okay.
That's okay, Talon.
That was
Yeah.
very close.
That was close.
It can be really hard to gauge your height, so that's okay.
Yes, he's going to do crazy gadget skip here. There's a very, very long jump you got to make down here. He needs to homing attack cancel, which is basically just hitting B after a homing attack there. And you can see for this whole trick, the gravity is very messed up. He's going to be basically on the side of this wall for the rest of the stage. He's got to get onto this little lip here so that he can actually move and kill the enemy that's holding the door shut. So you got it right there. Oh.
This is the difficult part.
Yeah, and he's basically going to fall directly onto the goal ring.
And boom.
And he got it.
Nice job.
So the skip does kind of the same thing. You just do it from a different place. It's just a lot harder to do.
No problem.
You have a lot less leniency.
Yeah, it's an extremely precise jump that you have to make.
And it saves about 20 seconds over the normal skip, which saves about 30 seconds over the normal stage.
Okay.
This is Eggman 2. He's back for vengeance. We can manipulate his AI here by shooting. He's going to go right, so Talon will shoot right. And then sometimes he does weird things like that. But after the second hit, he's going to do his special move, which is obliterating you with a laser. And Talon actually got a quick strat because the little capsule thing in the middle hit him,
Yeah,
so that's a really good time to get.
That's a very good time for Eggman too. He actually learned how to do something other than walk straight forward, which is makes it a bit of a threatening fight.
Yes. So the last action stage and the last stage, I guess, in the game is Final Rush, which, guess what, is also really broken. So we're going to use these gravity rails to be able to manipulate Sonic's angle and gravity, and we can basically skip the entire stage. So we're just going to fall over here, and we have some timing to be able to figure out when to turn, and we're going to go around the kill planes and then fall for a bit.
Yeah, I think I want to change at 35.
Mid 35?
Yeah.
maybe?
Mid 35? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say.
There is a kill plane right there. Okay, you did get under it.
Yeah,
That's
you missed
good.
the kill plane, which is good.
Okay.
You
yeah.
don't want to die here?
So it looks like I'm not doing anything. I am holding forward. It's just that there's nothing in reference to Sonic at the moment.
Yeah. He's aiming at a specific spot on the Earth there. It's a visual cue that he's using to line himself directly up with the goal ring. I personally believe it's supposed to be Hudson's Bay up in Canada, but I'm not sure.
It should be fine.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like he's got more than enough height, so it should be okay.
So yeah, some of you might recognize this as the end of the stage.
Yeah, there's a variation of the skip that he can do from a lower part in the stage. It saves about 10 seconds
Nice job.
in comparison. But the variation of the skip is very, very inconsistent even for tasks, so
Yeah.
not worth trying.
So we're at the last boss for Hero Story, which is Shadow 2. What you're going to see Talon do is do a homing attack to start the fight off, and then he's going to chain Shadow 2. So once Shadow gets hit, you can't homing attack him again, but what you can do is you can force him in the air by homing attacking him, and after doing a couple chains, while Shadow's going back down, his hitbox is open again, and you can keep hitting him. So it'll take about 15, 16 seconds to do.
Yeah, and get ready on time.
Time will be on the last hit.
Time.
Nice job.
Okay.
That's a pretty solid time.
Yeah, 39's not bad.
Yeah,
That's good.
you beat my PB.
Sonic, I
Yeah, the record is 35:25 at the moment. But we actually switched to go by in-game time recently. But the real-time record is 35:25.
Yeah, there's a Japanese runner named Emarua that just decimated almost every record in this game within a month.
Yep.
He got Hero Story, Dark Story, All Stories, and Any Percent. All very, very quickly.
We're
Talon
waiting
still
for
got
that-
the 180 emblem.
Yeah, we're waiting for the 180 runs from
Yeah.
Emarua.
Oh man. But yeah, that was Sonic Adventure 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the run.
Thank you, Talon. That was an